evening from the Fox Studios in Houston, Texas. I'm Carolina Sanchez, and I welcome you to what may be the most life-changing debate for your mental and emotional health. As you know, we Americans, we're all faced with a very important decision that could affect the outcome of many things in our lives, our future, and the future of our loved ones, our relationship status. It's time for the Nightcap's relationship debate.
Yeah, what's up for a nightcap? Chill, you know, kick back.
This relationship debate is sponsored by no one. So if you want to sponsor us, please give us a call. And because we do not have a sponsor or a commission, our team has decided the format of this debate. There will be 3 commercial breaks. And as far as timing for the questions, well, that is up to my producer, and it's off of her whim. Now, when it comes to the topics and the questions, well, those are up to me, and I haven't decided on those yet. So the candidates are unaware of those questions and topics, and neither is my team or me. Now, our audience has made no promise to remain silent, so there may be cheers and there may be boos. But let's go ahead and start with those cheers, shall we, as we introduce our relationship status advocates, starting with Ricky Murphy. He is representing the single and won't mingle. Next, we have Holly Cotton. She is representing the serial dating till the end. And last but not least, we have Todd Higginbotham. Wow, he represents the married for life. This is your first time meeting. Feel free to shake hands. Please have a clean debate, but if you decide to throw hands, you know, this is the Nightcap after all. All right, we're beginning with opening statements, and we're gonna start with the last person who got laid. So Holly, we'll start with you.
Well, hello constituents. I'm here today because I am obviously advocating for serial dating. Why? One, you get a free meal plan. Because why? You're always getting meals. I love to eat out. You guys know I've talked about that before. You are now a professional PhD talker because you do nothing but small talk. No room for relationship drama. Your life is stress-free. No wrinkles. You save money on facial products. And also you learn how to have a wardrobe because you're constantly having to put cute outfits together. And then who needs Netflix when your life is a Netflix series? So that is why I am going to prove to you today that serial dating is the way to go.
All right. Next, we'll hear from our party of one, Ricky Murphy.
Imagine a life where you can come and go as you please without having to hear, where are you going? What time you coming back? Who all gonna be there? Fellas, think about the last time you've spent money on almond French tips or quick weaves or sew-ins. Think about that hoodie that you've lost and how many hoodies you've lost in relationships. Ladies, think about the time Popeyes was calling his phone at 2 a.m. in the morning for a tire change. It's better to be single than being stressed and wondering what's really going on out there.
All right, next we'll hear from Todd Higginbotham, representing Married for Life.
So real quick, let me just pull out my cue cards, which I've noticed my friends here don't have any.
Oh.
Seems like there's a downside to not having a spouse that preps things for you. I will say, I believe that by the end of this debate, I will convince every nightcapper watching today that while we hear all the time about the gender pay gap or racial inequality, white supremacy, the real thing that sets people apart today is the marriage gap. Married people are happier, more successful, and have better sex lives. And I want that for every one of you nightcappers here today.
Okay, time is up for you, Todd. Feel free to have an open discussion before I send it over to my commentators, Jen and V.
I would just like to also say that the sex, if you look at the statistics, they say marital sex is the worst sex out there. So I'm just gonna go ahead and challenge that part of my fellow persons here.
Well, I'd like to argue this is fake news. and I have statistics right here that it was argued that, let me pull this up here right quick, that in the case for marriage, there was a study that said married people are said to have much more likely to have a sex life.
Sex
life, right.
And single men are 20 times more likely,
Well,
single women are
I'm sorry,
10 times.
Mr. Higginbotham and Ms. Cotton, we're actually going to be discussing sex.
Oh, okay. Then
later on in
I'll
the
wait.
show,
I'll
so,
hold my
well, I'll have this
remarks.
ready.
Yes.
All right. Well, listen, this was a great opening statement. I love the energy we've started with. But before we continue our debate, let's listen from Jen and V, who have been listening in and are going to share their thoughts on the debate throughout.
Thank you so much, Carolina. We've been listening, we've been looking, and we've been taking notes
And that is correct.
on these 3 dating statuses.
What great feedback
Yeah, I love it.
on whether you want to be married, single,
Yeah.
table for one,
Right.
right?
Or in the hotation phase.
Or in that hotation phase.
You hotation, baby.
We're gonna
okay?
keep them. We're gonna keep them going.
We're gonna keep it rolling.
Yeah.
All right, so my favorite one thus far,
Who do you think?
far,
Who you thinking?
their married life. Now, okay, I am married.
This is
okay?
true. Let me see your ring.
If you don't like, you should have put a ring
Woo,
on it. I am
woo.
married, so I was Mr. Higginbotham's. I love the points he made.
Okay,
But we gotta
okay.
listen in more to see
Okay.
what they have to say about each, status.
Well, let me tell you this. What I like is Ricky's stance on things. Because he wants the table for one, and guess what? I am a table for one, V. And I'm loving it. He said, you ain't got to worry about nobody else. You know,
Hey.
this is how we're coming out.
Yeah.
Be single and take care of yourself.
All right. And guess what, Jen? We're gonna hear more about the great relationship debate
Okay, bring
when
it
we
on.
come back from this break. Hey.
Welcome back to the Nightcap's relationship debate. We've got our candidates here representing different relationship statuses. We've got Ricky Murphy with the single for life. We've got our serial dater, Holly Cotton, and we've got the married AF, Todd Higginbotham. Holly, I'd like to start with you discussing finances. As a woman who gets wined and dined, you shared that with us many times here on the Nightcap. It sounds like a financially sound position for you. But when you're speaking to the masses, it sounds like it is not beneficial for men at the end of the day. Their finances may drop. What are your thoughts on that?
Well, my thought is date in your price range. Because if you can only afford coffee dates, then your financial security is not impaired at all, because you are going to sandwich shops and coffee dates and Starbucks and things of that nature. Now, if you are successful, then hey, why not share the wealth with a beautiful woman that makes you happy and makes you laugh? There's nothing wrong with that. So I don't think that it's a financial risk. Just date within your means.
Ricky, Todd, any thoughts on what Ms. Cotton has shared?
What I like to argue is that when married, men often make significantly more money in a couple than without. And they're able to provide more for their families and for any potential children. And my wife, thank you very much.
All right.
And they said in a study, the
have
average
10
married
seconds.
couple accumulates assets worth $410,000 compared to $600,000.
I'm a little concerned here, Mr. Higginbotham, that those answers were provided by your wife and not yourself. Mr. Murphy, I'd like to hear from you about finances. I feel like, when you're single, you can't depend on anyone else and just yourself.
Correct. When you're single, I don't stress about having to spend my money on somebody else. My money is all for myself. Coffee dates, dinner, I can go and please as I want, not have to, look at the bill when it comes and figure out if we're washing dishes or not tonight.
Holly, I see you nodding your head. Are you considering maybe being a party of one?
Well, I am a party of one. I'm a serial dater. I'm always me, Team Holly, but I just spread my, not sex, but I spread my love and my wittiness amongst the masses.
Well, she
I'd like
spreads, all right. Listen, I'm so sorry, Mr. Higginbotham. You're going to have to wait. Listen, we're going to send this over to Jen and V, who have been listening intently to this finance conversation. Ladies, what do you have to say about that before we head to sex next?
Thank you so much, Carolina. And we are back on this relationship debate.
Yes.
V, what do you think? We're talking about finances. Like you say,
money,
the
money,
shmoney.
Which money?
I feel like I like to know that I don't have to worry about somebody else.
Ooh.
I get a drink.
Good point.
And I don't have to worry about paying for somebody else's drink. You hear me?
Yeah.
So, Ricky, I'm here with you, buddy. What
All
you
right.
think?
Now, although I am for Mr. Higginbotham,
We've
his
heard
status,
that. We've heard that.
However, I do like Holly, the
Okay.
serial dater.
Okay. Why
I
is
like
that?
her stance on it.
Okay.
Because she said, date in your price range.
Okay.
So what do you
okay.
think about that?
I think you on a good roll right there, V.
Yeah.
I really believe that that's a good thing. Dating your price range. Look, that's why I ain't got to worry about it. You broke. Like, how I'ma date you? Because I feel like men will get jealous if the women these days making money.
And then too, let me take you back. Everybody goes Dutch nowadays. So it's like you say
skipping out
dating
on
your
the
price
ticket.
range.
Skipping out on the ticket.
But then this dude may say, hey, I need you to go half with me on this ticket though.
Why?
And then you'll say, check please.
Oh, well, that's a good
Right.
point, V.
And now they telling us commercial please. So we gotta wrap it up. More on this debate when we come back. Because
Stay
Jen
right
and V
here.
is where it's at. Hey.
Hey.
Thank you for rejoining us tonight for the great relationship debate on the Nightcap. As you know, we are discussing different relationship statuses tonight. All right, Ricky Murphy, who is representing the party of one, single for life. When it comes to procreating and having relations, do you not feel like you're missing out on an intimacy that is only felt with romantic partners?
I don't. I find joy in pleasing myself. I don't necessarily feel like I need someone else to take care of me. I can do it all by myself in any way, shape, or form.
Well, I assume that even though you're single AF, doesn't mean that you're not having relations with other partners.
No, I'm just by myself. That's the hand, the toys, all of that.
We have a very rowdy audience, as you know. Holly, you spoke about spreading earlier tonight. When it comes to serial dating, I feel like it comes with multiple partners. Isn't it better to be intimate and really showcase what you can do in the bedroom with just one partner?
And I am so glad that you brought that up, Carolina, because when people talk about dating, they think that means sleeping with everyone. Dating is simply going out, having conversation, having some type of figuring out if it's chemistry. That's the problem that people have whenever they're trying to figure out dating versus singlehood. No one says you have to sleep with every partner. And if you are, stop it. Serial dating means meeting people, figuring out if you want to go to the next step with someone. So I'm glad that you said that, because I definitely want to differentiate.
You wanted to clear that up. Mr. Murphy, I saw you shaking your head and making some very strange faces at Miss Cotton. What were you thinking exactly?
My question to her would be, do you know what you're looking for? Why are you dating constantly around and so many candidates and people?
Yes.
Do you know
I'm
yourself?
so glad you said that. I actually have 2 books about dating, so
Okay.
thank you.
Okay.
Don't Call Them and Somebody's Wife or Not. And those are actually books that I wrote, and I also did the exercises in them as well to identify what I am looking for in a partner. And if there is ever a point where someone checks those things off on the list, but until then, I believe solely in my chapter, Build a Partner, that's in Somebody's Wife or Not, available on all platforms.
All right, all right. Listen, the audience is really feeling it. Mr. Higginbotham, I know that you found some sort of study that says that marriage brings a wonderful sex life, but it's true that there are a lot more studies that discuss how many marriages lack in sex or a monotonous sex life. So how do you feel about defending having one partner for the rest of your life in the bedroom?
What I'd argue is a sexual relationship, being close to someone, is about unlocking what works best for one person. What works for one person doesn't work for another. And the best for somebody is consistent and constant growth. You want a relationship, a person who is willing to put the time, the effort to learn you as a person.
And different outfits in the bedroom.
And there are so many other ways to spice up a bedroom
Your time
and
is
a
up.
relationship.
Any rebuttals from
I
Mr.
do.
Murphy or
That's
Miss
not
Cotton?
fair. Whenever you have to be biased because your wife is yelling in the audience and she's telling you you're not eating tonight if you don't answer the question right. We know what goes on in marriages
I
and after
personally don't
30
think you
years.
have to spice up anything when you have all the toys that you need and you're single.
Oh,
And have
Argue
a
that's
partner
spicing it
that-
up itself.
Have a partner that wants
all
it. But
right.
anywho, I digress. Mhm.
this is getting spicy. Jen and V, what are y'all thinking? My goodness.
Ooh, did you hear what I heard? They
I
said
heard everything.
sex.
I heard everything,
Sex.
girl.
Sex, and more.
Procreation, and what you calling it?
Yeah,
Blowing what?
You're blowing your back out.
Woo! That.
Now, Mr.
As a
Higginbotham,
married, how do you feel about that?
because you have one partner, right? Mm-hmm. And you can tell your partner all your fantasies, what you want to do in the bedroom.
One person.
If you want to be a hoe in the
Okay.
bedroom, you can be a hoe in
Role
the
play,
bedroom.
whatever you wanna
know
do.
that partner. You ain't got to worry about no STDs. You can tell them I want to
You know,
dress
V,
up.
I was gonna say that.
Yeah, because you heard the married woman hollering out in the audience,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
So what's your take? Which you prefer when it comes to the sex?
Well,
Are you with the serial
let me
date
tell
or what
you.
you with?
I am with Ricky and Holly.
Oh,
How about that?
You with both of them?
I'm with both of them because I feel like you can actually be safe about serial dating and being in the bedroom with different people.
Yeah. So now we're gonna check out these closing statements to see what they say.
What
to
these
close out
what these
their
comments
argument.
got?
Yeah. So we gotta go to break, yo, Gene.
Okay.
I know
all right.
it's juicy.
Okay.
I know it's
yeah.
juicy. I know it's
I'm
juicy.
warmed up.
After the break, closing
Okay.
statements. Y'all
Okay.
stay right there.
Right here.
Welcome back to the Nightcap's relationship debate. As you know, America, we have a very big decision in front of us about what we're going to do with the rest of our lives in our future. We've had the experience of listening to Ricky Murphy talk about singledom. You've had the experience of listening to Holly Cotton talk about serial dating and the benefits of conversation. And of course, you've heard from Todd Higginbotham talking about how he can please his wife for the rest of her life. Now we will listen to their closing arguments so that you can make the best decision for yourself. Mr. Murphy, let's begin with you.
America, you can be single and stress-free, or you can be a serial dater and spend your time figuring out what works for you and somebody else, or you can become a statistic while being married. Before I go, I just want to let you guys know this here. First marriages, 43% of them end in divorce. Second marriages, 60% of them end in divorce. Third marriages, about 73% end in divorce. Stay single and stress-free. Don't worry about what somebody else is doing. And marriage is just that.
Ms. Cotton.
Well, America, since we're talking to America, I also am anti-marriage, but I am also anti-single. That's why we are serial daters. You don't have to be alone and you don't have to be in a sucky relationship and a marriage. Go around, meet people, go on dates, figure out what you like, figure out what you want, and when you're ready to commit, then make that commitment. You can be a dater and monogamous. You can be a dater and be polygamous. Whatever you want to do, you have the option, and you obviously know that you have options in the world because you are serial dating multiple people.
Lastly, Mr. Higginbotham.
My opponents, the hidden word that my opponents haven't said yet, but all argue is these choices of life offer freedom. That being alone is freedom. That dating around is freedom. And in that same way of thinking, having $1,000 in your checking account is freedom, but never actually using it. That freedom is having something, but never actually doing something with it. What freedom is to me is the ability to choose something that I love, a person that I love, and committing to it. If you spend your life not committing, then what is the use of that freedom?
Wow. Thank you, each and every one of you, Mr. Higginbotham, Miss Cotton, and Mr. Murphy. This was a spirited debate. I appreciate your time. In America, you know what decision you have to make. What is your relationship status on Facebook? Jen and V, take it away, ladies.
Ooh, baby, that closing was everything and then some, right? So, we're going to close with a poll, all right? So we
Yeah.
asked you guys,
Good
good
idea.
nightcappers, what dating status would you prefer, right? And so with me, I stand with Mr. Higginbotham, that married for life, 55%. What about you, Jay?
I stand with Mr. Ricky, single forever.
All righty then. All right, well, I guess that is it for us.
That's it.
That was a great relationship
Wow,
debate.
ladies,
that was
crazy, wasn't
That
it?
was crazy.
Wait, so you stuck it out with Mr. Higginbotham
I
to
stuck
the
it
end?
out with Mr.
She
Higginbotham
did.
to
And you,
the
Mr.
end.
Murphy?
Mr. Murphy, Ricky Murphy.
I thought there was going to be more serial dating. But listen, whatever you choose, your relationship status, that's fine.
Yes.
But tomorrow is the presidential election. So you better hit them polls. Go vote. Okay?
Go vote.
Cheers to you. We'll see you guys next time.
Cheers.
Where's my drink, ladies? What's going on here?
Hold on.